Missouri in 1994. Worked at the radio station for 4 years. Became really good friends. We kind of went our separate ways after graduation. You know, he did his thing, I did mine. And then fall of 2000, he said, "Hey, I think there's a spot at ESPN for you. I can't guarantee anything, but just give me a resume. I'll make sure it gets in the right hands." Well, lived up to his word. Spoke with his bosses, and they brought me down for an interview. A couple weeks later, they offered me a job, so I took it. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, working in graphics. You know, I wanted to be on air. I wanted to be a star. But yeah. But I took it. It was a foot in the door. So important in this business. Went down there, doing his job about a year and a half. So I met this guy named Steve Rakowski, who was actually a researcher. He was taking another position in the department. He's like, "My spot's open. I know you got great sports knowledge. You want to do what I do?" And I say, "Yeah, that interests me." He's like, "All right, give me your resume. I'll talk to Craig Wax, the manager, departmental manager." So I meet with Craig Wax. He gives me 3 sports decathlon tests, testing my knowledge. You know, just as my luck, I passed him. He said, "All right, we're going to offer you the job." I've been with that department for 9.5 years since then. Been with the company for 11. Being a senior researcher now in ESPN Stats and Information has opened a lot of avenues for me. I write several columns for ESPN.com, articles, I shouldn't say columns. I travel the country. I've been to 7 Daytona 500s, 4 Indy 500s. I cover motorsports primarily. In 2007, I was able to travel to every race on the schedule. I was with the traveling staff. And I get to meet all the guys I looked up to as a kid, guys who work at ESPN and are now colleagues of mine. And guys that, you know, I'd watch pitch game 7 in the World Series. Now they're looking for me for answers. You know, my job as a researcher is how to find stuff, where to find it, and how to analyze it and make it sound good. So people on television like a Chris Berman or a Carl Ravitch or a Stuart Scott, so they sound smart. As smart as those guys are, they don't have all the answers. All the answers come from research. So that's what I do. You know, it's opened so many avenues for me, so many opportunities. ESPNBoston.com, which was launched, has used several months. Use a lot of my content that I generate for stuff on their website. All of the local websites do. It opens up so many doors, builds contacts. I know almost everybody that works at that network. You go through my iPhone there, and my contacts list, it's endless. That's how important making contacts are in this business. I can't stress that any further.
Good. Do you want to add something, Matt, or?
I was just saying, when Chris was mentioning about traveling the country, it's a pretty neat thing to. We have a lot of friends that went to Curry that are working, you know, not so much in the TV business, but just in general business, and they're just like, "Yeah, I got to work, you know, I got to go in. We have meetings all day," and I'm like, "Oh, all right, well, I'm going to Arizona this weekend for some tournament, you know, or going to Florida for Daytona, or, you know, when I was working on College Game Day, we had no idea where we were going until like 2 days prior. So I've been everywhere: Texas, Oklahoma, California, oh gosh, Oregon, Georgia, Florida, just everywhere. And I wouldn't have that experience if I didn't work at ESPN. And it's amazing that they pay us to watch sports and to, you know, see different sporting events. I've been to 4 Daytona 500s, 3 Homesteads for NASCAR, 4 Brickyard 500s. College Game Day, all those games. Stanley Cup Finals, that was my first trip. Got to go to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, which was a blast. And then down to Tampa. I was on the road for 17 days. It was great, and I got to get up every morning, go watch morning skate, and get prepared to do a show, and then go watch the games at night. It's a lot of fun. But as Chris mentioned, and we can't stress enough, it's all who you know, all kind of contacts. First impressions are always important. You know, you may think right now that, you know, I have 4 years, you know, until I graduate, but it's really, you know, keeping on top of everything, your studies and being active in the community here at Curry will get you places.
Tell them about the accomplishments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? No, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I know when you work at MLA, well, it's a television station, it's nice to be honored. I know when we were both at MLA, and we were recipients of the Associated Press Award. I know Mr. Quinlan right over there, I've developed a friendship with over the past few months. He always aims for that AP award, you know, to go to the banquet in the spring, which was awesome. I mean, that was a highlight of our year. Both Matt and I, for the work we've done at the network, have been recognized not once but twice with Emmy Awards. So if anybody's seen, you know, the Emmy Awards for the awards on television, they do hand those out in sports television. And both have statues about this high, gold, with our names on it. So it's a pretty cool thing.
Pretty.
Yeah.
It's I haven't gone yet to the Emmy Awards, but we received them, and I really want to go to one at least once. But
It's a fun show.
Don't you have to win again to go again?
Yeah.
So you have
Well, we're
plans. You
nominated
have plans,
every
right?
year, but we gotta win. So there's a lot of stiff competition out there.
Sure.
Another thing I want to stress too, it's funny because when I graduated college, I thought, I was like, wow, I'm going against kids from Syracuse, from Emerson, or from like all these big communication schools. Come to find out, Chris and I aren't the only people from Curry that work at ESPN. We have Brian Ryder, who is one of our producers, Mark Summer,
Mark
who's
Summers is in charge of NBA studio production, so all the NBA, like NBA Fast Break and NBA Nation, and all of the studio shows you see in Bristol, our finals coverage, that is run by a Curry graduate. Mark Summer graduated here in 1990. Still looks like he goes to school here. Very good. But Mark is great. I have worked with Mark on several projects. He is he's one of the best in the business, and went to school right here.
and someone in charge of our ESPN magazine regional television. I know he just spoke here last week or 2 weeks ago. Steve Binder, super nice guy. I know for experience, just even interviewing for another position within ESPN magazine, I contacted him, and he was right away, like within, I would say, an hour, like, this is who you need to talk to. Let me know if I can help you out in any way. And I've never met him before. So there's a lot of good connections, not just at ESPN. I know there's some Curry kids that work down in Atlanta at CNN. So if sports isn't your thing and you want to get into the TV business and work in news, there's even Curry graduates at CNN.
Even starting out locally, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we were fortunate enough that, you know, I was only out here for 3 years until I got hired by ESPN. But you know, it's a great Boston opportunity, great local opportunity, maybe in Providence or something. Just jump on it. You never know when those opportunities are coming in. Matt and I we were fortunate. We got in at, you know, we were right place, right time. I got in because I knew somebody I went to school with there.
And a question, what do you advise students? Let's say a student is really crackerjack, really good right now, and they're attending college, and they really want to, you know, go into the business, and they get an offer while they're still in school, and they have to leave the area potentially. What would you recommend? Finish college or jump?
I would always, you know, my parents raised me, you know, get your diploma, and that's a big thing on my part. If you can, leaving the area is one thing. I think you're gonna regret not getting your degree. I can't make your mind up for you. That's a choice you're gonna have to address at the right time. You know, talk it over with your folks. Talk it over with Alan. I mean, he advised me and Matt when we were here. I'm not gonna tell you not to pass up an opportunity, but when you get that degree, believe it or not, despite the economic climate, that's gonna open some doors.
And